Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about adding metal as a cure for the 5-yellow once we're already in the snake year. And the 5-yellow is in the northeast in the snake year, and the snake year starts on February 3rd. Now, it does require care to actually add metal after you're in the year. In wherever your 5-yellow is. So ideally you do it near the end of the dragon year, that is the end of the previous year. And you put the metal in the new location. Hopefully the new location doesn't also have an annual affliction. But if you can do it very close to the end, then you haven't got many days for problems to occur, so it's usually not terrible. This particular year, the beginning of the snake year starts with both the month and the year star in the northeast being star 5. So it's extremely volatile, extremely like on a hair trigger to be affected or to be activated. Now, you can add the 60 kilograms of metal or something close to that in the snake year in the northeast. But if you drop it or it's more activity than you normally have, this is actually going to have a possibility of activating your 5-yellow. So this is why we like to do it near the end of the year before. And most practitioners say that is a smart idea. You want to do it before the next year starts in the new place where the 5-yellow will be. Now, my members have the best dates and times prior to the start of the snake year. But any day that's not a clash, and we're talking about everybody's year animal sign in your household and the month animal sign of the working adults, is generally okay. It's acceptable, but it probably won't be the strongest time unless you get lucky. But you can choose to use this, and if you wanted to be a member for a single month out of the year, it would be January, because this is when I'll be giving these dates every year. Now, I can do this generally for before the next coming year comes. I can't do it generally for everybody during the rest of the year. Now the tiger, as I said, this tiger month coming up, it's the first month of every solar year. It has 5 both in the month and the year in the northeast. So it's a pretty dangerous time unless your residence is already in the sun and moon arrival dates. And there are residents that do start their first sun and moon arrival is right at the beginning of the year, and it can happen. Now, the sun and moon arrival dates, you have 4 roughly 2-week periods throughout the year where you can safely do things in areas with annual afflictions and generally don't have any problems crop up. But that will depend on the facing direction of your residence. So this isn't, I mean, I don't know, I can't talk about everybody's facing direction. It's a little crazy. So apartments and condos and flats, any of these kind of things, you use the entire building's facing direction, not your unit facing. So that is something I thought was worth noting. Of course, for a house, you use the house facing. Now, I do have a public video describing the method to find your sun and moon arrival dates, but I also have a fairly inexpensive product that will allow you to easily know the exact times and dates your residence will be in one of these sun and moon arrival windows. So, and it's good. It's a 2-part thing, basically 2 rings. The inner ring is good forever, and it's good for any house of any facing direction, as long as it's definitive. That is, you're not right between 2 different facing directions. The outer ring has some changes from year to year, but it's only like a day off of each one. And the information is publicly available. You can find the exact dates and times each year from the Hong Kong Observatory at no cost. I also provide the ring at no cost for people who have purchased the product before. But this is only useful if you also have the inner ring. So one doesn't usually do you much good. But I'm not going to be doing my business forever, and this is where you can get the dates for every single year, so you know exactly what's going on in your residence, and it can apply to any house, anywhere, or any apartment. You just have to know your facing direction. Now, these dates last roughly 2 weeks, and what the sun and moon arrival dates do for you is they protect your residents from anything negative. So this is a very useful time to do something that might otherwise activate an annual affliction. The most common use is to safely start a renovation in a sector with an annual affliction, and that annual affliction will not get activated. Now, you do have to start in a location that doesn't have an annual affliction, but once you start, then you can move on. And I talk about that great detail in that other video. Now, the same rule about avoiding clash days also applies. You know, everybody's year and the working adults month, you don't want to put any cure or start any renovation on a clash day. Now, if you have access to the Cheeman hour charts, you can also pick the best dates within a given window by looking at the Cheeman properties. For at least in the snake year, it'll be in the Northeast, but it's wherever the 5 yellow would move to any other year. And there are quite a few dates to look at, I will admit that, because there's 13 charts in a day, and you've got 2 weeks, so that's quite a few charts to look at. So, but it's only for the people who have access to this. Now, the thing is you need to determine what is the most important goal to determine the best properties. The dates I give are generally good for most things. There's nothing really nasty there. And I give a date and time, of course, in my membership section. Now, if you have missed placing the medal before February 3rd, you need to be careful not to activate the 5 yellow before your first sun and moon arrival dates, because you're not really going to be able to have a super effective cure of the 5 yellow unless you're in the sun and moon arrival dates, because bringing that metal in often further activates that 5 yellow. So this is why it's a big deal. Now, you want to avoid times, if we're talking about the Cheeman chart, you want to avoid times when the death door is in the Northeast, and that's, of course, for the snake year. Next year, it's going to move. Your goal is to protect, if your goal is to protect your relationships, choose a time that has the harmony spirit in the Northeast and does not have the death door, of course, and hopefully has generally good other properties. The more good things you can get, the better off you are. If your goal is to protect your health, choose a time when the heart star is in the Northeast. And if your goal is to protect your career or your investments, choose a time when, for the career, choose a time when the open door is in the Northeast. And if your goal is to protect your investments or your business, choose a time when the life door is in the Northeast. Now, these two, you only have one life door. You only have one door in each chart in the Northeast. So you have to decide which one is more important to you if money is what you're most concerned about, whether it's your investments or your career. Now, this requires you to know what you want the most. Sometimes you can get lucky and you can have the harmony spirit, the heart star, and one of these doors at the same time, and then you get everything. But they're hard to find, and they don't always happen in a reasonable period of time. Certainly, they may well not happen during your sun and moon arrival dates. So that's it. You can hopefully find at least a good date, and you know, with the sun and moon arrival dates. And I have a table that's available to you guys, and you can look up the Hong Kong Observatory if you want to do this all yourself. You do not have to buy my product, but you do have to figure out those tables. It's all up to you. And just want you to know that this is pretty important, and that the Tiger month is not the best month to place metal because of the double fives. But sometime you have to. Just be really, really super careful if you do. Thanks again for watching.